I thought this was open mode. And Beastar to start us off.
Yeah, we'll get to see our answer here before too long. And I think we have a map check here. Coming up.
I saw Crystal at Hera and a pendant at Eastern. I could not tell what desert was.
I think it was another pendant. And it looks like our weapon. Ooh, this is going to be fun.
The Cane of Berna.
It's the best cane. It really is the best cane. I don't care what anyone says.
I think it is actually one of the better ones too. I like using it for the blind strats. You can deal with it. But our two runners may not be too happy with it. Let's be honest here.
No, it's probably the least popular option while going through the escape process here. But it's my favorite. I have a special place in my heart for the cane of Berna. Both runners using pot strats where they can, trying to save as much magic as they can, but still farming up enemies, doing what they can, because that all-important back end of escape does have 3 treasure chests. We just need to hope we get bombs between now and then.
Yeah, bombs are going to be a huge important thing, and because of the cane, they're not going to have too much opportunities to grind.
No, that's the real difficult part. The other part is knowing where the magic bottles are going to be underneath the other pots. There's a few in the sewers. Otherwise, there's not going to be much of an opportunity for a refill for magic.
Yeah, so let's see what we got here for this chest. It's just a small key.
Yeah, just a small key, unfortunately. That's the thing that happens. That does mean that, there's going to be one small key at some point before that locked door, so nice to get that out of the way. It means more excitement for the rest of the time.
And it looks like we're seeing pot strats very wisely to do that, given that we have such a low magic threshold here.
Absolutely. And we just about have sync here. It may be a little bit difficult to tell sync at this point in time between these two runners, but when you have the Cerno sprite and the Pointer sprite.
Yeah, and only Zelda's just only having a big 20, so we're not getting much in the way of items either.
No, not much, and that's really disconcerting for these runners, unfortunately.
They at least also have the small key, though, so they won't have to worry too much about this.
And it looks like both the runners are going to be getting to the top floor of the escape sequence in a sub 4-minute time. That's still making pretty good time out of the entire escape sequence.
Yeah, unfortunately, the efforts to get bombs is almost non-existent. They might have to grind the snakes. There's like 6 of them in that hallway, but that'll consume a lot of their magic.
There is a small opportunity for at least one magic pot before that, and yep, we got to make sure to go to that left side. Can't go to the right.
Alright, so here we go with the sewer sequence.
Let's see. And it looks like Darcy is actually just going to forego farming and just commit himself almost to having to go back. And the hook shot.
That is a great aid find to have.
Yeah,
That can also be used on the rats to grind for bombs too, if they ever want to do that.
I was just going to say that would be a great opportunity to do that, save quite a bit of magic. Looks like Darcy has switched. However, Nakanashi has not yet switched to that hookshot strat. Hopefully he does that soon. And he may not find anything still.
Yeah, it might not be. Nope, they're just gonna commit to skipping these items for the time being. They might think that there's not a bomb in the item pool to escape, which I think is possible. Yep, there's no bombs, so we'll have to come back later for those remaining chests. In the meantime, ooh, Sanctuary with the shovel.
That's a little bit mean, but honestly, that's not a bad place for the shovel to be. You'll be able to do the Kakariko, and then instead of saving and quitting at the end, you'll just be able to route that shovel spot down as you're doing South Shore. So if either of these runners were hoping to head over to Eastern, this might be changing their route.
All right, so let's see what we got here from the poultry. Wow, very nicely done. 8 bombs.
Yeah, not going to have to purchase any bombs at this point in time. That's absolutely nice.
Yeah, very nice indeed. And we're about to see what is that lumberjack here.
Oh my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an Agassiz seed.
Yeah, bow is one of those items absolutely required. My goodness. So we're going to end up going to Ag at some point. I imagine they're going to try to put it off as much as they can. Just because, I mean, you also need the boots. So if you don't get boots early, there's no point in going ahead and doing it. Just wait until you're maybe a little bit more upgraded in your armor there.
All right, so we're going to see what's at. All right, looks like just some health at Mushroom and at the Thieves' Hut here in the Lost Woods.
Always nice to get a little bit of health before going through there. I mean, we're still rocking the green mail. We know at some point we're going to be going through Aga's Tower. So knowing that you're going to be a little bit healthy going through, I think absolutely helps both these runners.
All right, so we see our first runner here, your Punchy, going ahead and going into Kakariko. I'm gonna start with the Lion's House here. Let's see what we got. ₹20, 20 rupees. Ooh, the Ice Rod, and 20 rupees.
More rupees. Oh my goodness. So, and half magic.
Hello, half magic.
So if I'm looking at the tracker correctly, we did see Eastern Palace is one of the pendants. This might get interesting because there's only 2 dungeons in the game, plus Ganon's Tower, that require the access for the bow. That's Pod and Eastern. Eastern is already a pendant. If Pod is also a pendant, that means that the entire possibility that our access to Aghanim won't actually occur until Ganon's Tower.
Oh, hello there, flippers. Found by Punchy. And Naki will be getting those just momentarily as well.
So far as we're going through here, I mean, we got a couple nice things. Hookshot and escape was nice. Ice rod and flippers and half magic are nice, but really nothing pointing us towards any progression yet, is there?
No, not really. So there might be something here, a race game, but we're about to see that real quick as Punchy is making their way down that way. Oh, hello there.
I mean, if the boots weren't already on your absolutely must-do list, having the boots lock both the bow and the mirror, that's just a little mean here. And the boots could absolutely be trolling our runners for a while.
Yeah, that is a significant find there. And in case we didn't say it, because I haven't actually remembered, that is the flip. That is the mirror on the library. And Shovel only giving us 10 arrows.
Yep, we see Nakanashi looks like did the save and quit anyway to backtrack to Shovel. Meanwhile, PuchieDarcy went ahead and did that routing altogether. So it looks like PuchieDarcy is with a little bit more efficient routing there instead of just muscle memory, that saving and quitting.
And here we go with the dam check for Punchy. Doesn't quite get the clip to grab the chest in one pass. We'll have to leave and re-enter. But that is still fairly difficult. I even have trouble with this sometimes.
Yeah, he just looked like he was a pixel or two off, unfortunately. He was right up in there. Looks like we just have a drowned heart. And what do we have inside?
A sword! Hello!
All right, so that's our first ticket to Aghanim. We need another sword, or the cape, and a lamp.
And it looks like our other 5-6, or a 5-6 crystal is at desert. So if boots are required for that, that means we need to find them fast. Both runners also opting to pick up that heart container.
This is shaping up to be one of the more unusual seeds I think I've seen in a while. You can really see some weird logic. Oh, there's the lamp. Nice early lamp.
Yeah, lamp is there. But not much else, it looks like.
No, unfortunately not.
Alright, so here we go with the Ice Rod Cave. And we're seeing a heart container on the Lake Hylia Island. Oh, though, that's significant. That is the Fire Rod at Ice Rod Cave. Talk about a contradiction, but one I don't think Punchy is going to mind at all.
What's the opposite of vanilla? Is it chocolate? Is it strawberry? Because whatever it is, that's what that fire rod is. Chocolate fire rod.
Well, we also have a power glove at the Bridge Hobo.
I mean, that's not surprising. We got flippers relatively early, and it does look like Darcy is heading up that way as well. So, Hobo with our progression item at this point in time, we are. That's still only our first item necessary for Dark World access, though. Where is everything else that we can be hoping for?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure, but Punchy now has their power glove, so combined with the lamp and the hook shot, they have access to East Death Mountain. So Paradox Cape is in play.
That would be an incredibly solid play if they end up doing that. Remember, there's, let me see, 8 treasure locations up there. Still can't quite get up to, what am I trying to say here? Not able to get up to Tower of Hera, I'm sorry. But still a worthwhile check.
Yeah, we see Punchy making their way all to that cave. We'll be going to say the old man. Kills the bush crab hiding him under the rock. Tries to give him a little hard in passing. And chat pointing out that because now we have those gloves, we can actually check those 3 chests we missed in Escape. Although I think there's only 2 valuable items there, if I recall right. Because I don't recall us finding the map.
Part of me wants to say I think we did, but I could be crossing my games again.
So it looks like we got a heart container from Floating Island, and Old Man just giving us a little bit of coin for our efforts.
Yeah. So while Nakanashi is going up, won't quite have enough, even with what appears to be 300 rupees on the ledge. Not quite enough for Zora, so we'll have to back out.
And we see Punchy making their play on the rooms here that they missed, or the chest rather. And what do we get? Interesting. We got the mushroom and the hammer. Oh boy, that is a huge find.
Yeah, I bet Darcy is absolutely happy he saved and did not go up to complete his Death Mountain run. Real lucky play. Now he will be able to loop in Tower of Hera with his Eastern Death Mountain run. Very solid play there by Darcy. And it looks like Nakanashi made the same play. We'll see where he goes now.
Looks like Nakanashi will be heading over to the mountain as well. And, well, there's the 10 bomb pack. And Spitterrock only having 20 rupees.
Yep, nothing on this side from the looks of it, but this side really isn't why you go up to Death Mountain. So, Wolf, what are we going to find up here on Death Mountain, do you think?
What I absolutely do not want to find is the cape, because that will give them agate.
It would. So,
Well,
you don't want to find a cape or a sword?
However, we are only a moon pearl away from having Dark World access. And that is the magic powder found by Punchy.
Well, that's another item location that you have access to in Kakariko Village, so it's a possibility there.
And there's the moon pearl and the cape.
Oh boy. So at very least, we can do Aga right now. We still don't have the boots.
We can do Aga whenever we want. We have Dark World access because we have the hammer, the glove, and the moon pearl. And we also have the swag net.
I mean, if anything is pointing you to do it, you know, the swag net is obviously the one thing. No, the swag net doesn't. But
at this point in the race, considering that they know Aga 1 is required, but don't have to fight Aga right away for Dark World access, I am more than convinced that they will delay their fight with Aga until they get the boots, so that they can do to Eastern Palace. Or Pod if they need to. Or just save it until they need the bow to finish the run.
I would absolutely assume so. I mean, at this point in time, climbing Aga's tower with fighter sword and no boots, it's not necessarily the most fun thing to do. So you're going to wait until you're a little bit better equipped so you can try to make, a long slog of a climb a little bit faster.
Well, there's our first item in Tower Hera. It's only 50 rupees. Meanwhile, we do have the Moon Pearl and the cape for... Or not Nashi.
Yep, we see Darcy going ahead and climbing Tower of Hera, which is absolutely fine. That is one of our crystal dungeons, and if you could do a crystal dungeon, why not do one? Tower of Hera is relatively quick, and even if there is something in the basement, we have that fire rod to help out.
Yeah, and it will be relatively easy to set up a bomb as well as a coffee break. Just find the map though in this chest, and it looks like they will be going around. Not gonna risk a bomb jump on this, which is perfectly fine because that bomb jump, if they fail it, they're going back up 2 floors.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate place to fall all the way down.
And that's not what you want to see if you were trying to avoid basement. It is the small key.
Yeah, 50-50 coin flip at this point in time. Is it on Moldorm or is it in the basement? The nice thing is, if it's something's in the basement, you know that your opponent is going to have to do it too.
All right, so here we go with the Moldorm fight. Oh, but he's camping that ledge.
Come on, Moldorm. Come out to play.
All right, first hit registered. Going with hammer strats because it's going to be the easiest way. Second hit. And Moldorm is down. Let's see the prize. It is our item, and it is 300 rupees. So, basement not required this seed.
I imagine that Darcy's feeling pretty good about that. Gets to rest a little bit while the item has gone through. Now, where does Darcy go from here? All of Dark World is now opened up to you. Well, he has to do, I guess, Spiral Cave yet. But...
Yeah, Spiral Cave would be the absolute best idea because you're already on the mountain. And you wouldn't do it before Hera if you're coming up this way. Because then you have to climb the mountain again. So, really nice heads up play from Punchy to do Spiral Cave before he finishes his trip up the mountain. And here we go with Nake's Moldorm fight. Let's see what we get here. Oh, hey. Single arrow, it's Spiral Cave. That is so worth it. No, not really.
What are you talking about? It's the most important arrow. It's the final arrow you use to shoot Ganon. Absolutely required.
And there's Nake with the Moldorm kill.
And Darcy looks like he's doing something interesting. He's heading over into the direction of the Witch's Hut and the Zora, kind of the vanilla Zora way. I imagine he might be turning in the mushroom here directly.
Yeah, makes absolute perfect sense. They won't have the mirror until they have boots, so they won't be able to fully optimize doing mushroom catfish Zora. So getting this out of the way. Unfortunately, not exactly paying off. It's only a piece of heart. trying to hit that rock there, but does not have the Titan's Mint yet. Only has the Power Glove.
Plus no boots to bonk. Kind of taken the long way around, unfortunately. It's still in logic, absolutely. Just slow.
And Punchy has not got these items yet, so this will be new information for him at least.
Well, I think even more important for Punchy will be that when Nakanashi went and made the check earlier, did not quite have enough money for Zora. Now Darcy does. So no matter what, Darcy will be able to give us some new information once he finishes going over to Zora.
And are we going to see a Dark World map check from Nake?
Oh, maybe not before we get to Hype Cave. Wonder what Hype Cave's going to have in store for us today.
Well, we're going to find out in just a few seconds here. Ooh, but that's a good find. Ether at Zora.
We don't know if that opens up anything quite yet, but it's certainly going to be interesting to see if it does.
Why, hello there, Bombos. And, oh, hi there, Fighter Shield.
Ah, it's the Fisher-Price My First Shield. How cute.
Out of all the 3 shields, I think that's the second worst one. Because at least you can get rid of it. I think the Fire Shield is absolutely fine to have, if nothing else. Because it actually does a decent job. And if you need to, you can get rid of it. Mirror Shield, well, when you have both invincibility items, you don't exactly need that.
Yeah, but it's nice to save magic, in my personal opinion.
Well, Stumpy coming through for us, having our second sword. So Nake is on Master.
Sword of Evil's Bane being held by an animated tree in the woods. Of course.
Well, he didn't know what it was. Let's be real. And there's our map check. I saw Skullwoods and Ice Palace as our pendants, and I think I saw Swamp as our other 5/6. And a heart container for Nake.
And I imagine it looks like Darcy is going down into that South Dark World area now.
Ooh, now this is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this play from Nakanashi. Looks like he is going to go ahead and do Aghanim now. Master Sword, half magic with Fire Rod can make some quick work through here. I mean, I guess it's all right because you really can't dash a whole lot. I would probably put this off a little bit more, but it's not a bad play to make, I suppose.
Lord of the Synth, what's in Legendary Cape? The bow, and also the mirror is on Library. So this play from Nake, it can really be done at any time, but if I were in the runner's shoes, I would probably have saved it until after I had found the boots, so that I can immediately go and get that bow, and then I would go straight into whatever dungeon I needed for that bow.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that one. It's an interesting play. It could pay off because if something, for example, if the boots are somewhere close to where the bow is, like say the boots are in Skullwoods or the village of Outcasts, then you can save, quit, run over, get the mirror, and kind of do all of that in the same area, and you don't have to route away from it too much. But if it's not, then you're not really saving any time.
Yeah, the other thing, though, is that you're also making the overworld harder on yourself way earlier than you needed to. Which, at 10 hearts green mail, might seem like it's a minor nitpick, but just having just a few more aggressive guards can really do you in sometimes.
I don't think that's a minor consideration at all. I think that's absolutely something you have to consider, especially, again, like you said, green mail, only 10 hearts, only master sword, so even dashing, sometimes they'll knock you around and hit you for 2 or 3 hearts. Absolutely worth a consideration.
All right, well, now we see Naki on that final floor. In the meantime, it looks like Darcy will be heading to Village of Outcasts via the Kakariko Village portal.
Yep, we'll see where Darcy ends up going. Does he go north into the Skullwoods area or south into the Village of Outcasts? And am I seeing this right on Darcy's side? Or on Nakanashi's side, I'm sorry.
Swagging out.
See, you said it. The bug net was absolutely required to defeat Aghanim.
I unfortunately missed what was just found by Punchy.
I do not believe it was.
Oh, our chat is saying it was Boots.
Oh. Okay, then. That's absolutely something. Yep. Well, this changes things a little bit, doesn't it?
It does indeed, so...
Oh, man, those murdered dactyls. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, unfortunate.
So it does look like Darcy is going to be making the play with the boots. It's a little bit more understandable now because he'll be able to go right over, get the mirror, get the bow, and just have a grand old time.
Yeah, that was pretty good there. And we are going to see the magic bat here from Nake. Let's see what this is.
Yep, doing the routing here, I imagine we'll be going up into the Dark World almost immediately after.
Well, well, well. Hello there, Tempered Sword.
Wow. Okay, then. That, well, would have been absolutely nice about 10 minutes ago, but we'll make it work.
All right, it looks like Nake will be heading over to that Kakarika portal as well. And Punchy needs to be a little bit careful, if I may be honest.
Yeah, I mean, again, green mail is not the easiest. I imagine he'll get through, but Aghanim, just a few blue balls, and that could really hurt.
Well, apparently if you know your spacing, you'll never actually get hit by them. So, that should be a good thing there. And quick shout outs here, by the way, to Alpha Channel, who is our tracker for this race. Making sure all of your items you see are up to date. And there is the boots for Nake. Zero gets to go fast now.
So with Skullwoods being a pendant, here's the question. Do you continue on, or do you go and get all that value between the bow and the mirror and move on with your day?
I mean, if there's something else in Skullwoods, it'll be a relatively fast check. And we don't necessarily have to go fight the moth.
Well, I mean, it's possible because I believe Skullwoods is the green pendant. So there's some incentive for doing so.
And Aga 1 is down for both runners now. They both chose to get him out of the way relatively sooner rather than later, which is absolutely fine.
I mean, fine, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why they aren't making a beeline for that mirror and bow. That seems to be the play to me. Although I can certainly understand doing this Village of Outcast check since it's happened. It just is right here.
Well, in the case of the mirror, I can kind of see saving it as the go mode item because we have slain Aghanim, which will mess up your save and quit strats now that Aga 1 is down.
Oh, that's true. I had not thought about that aspect.
And we are seeing a Thieves Town play as Catfish doesn't give us much. First item is the small key.
Not bad. Really not bad. If you have to do it, you have to do it.
And we got a fairy as our second item. And I do believe that was our first bottle amongst both of our runners, is it not?
It is our first bottle.
Hey, who likes boomerangs? Got our blue one now.
Bloomerang, although it's the inferior boomerang to the Lagarang. I'm sorry.
And there is the bow for Punchy.
Okay. Oh, rude guard.
All right, so there we go. Tempered sword now for Punchy.
I think he's happy to see that a little bit. Chat's getting a little antsy talking go mode. We're still a long way from go mode. I mean, we still need mitts, we still need flute, we still need cane. Those 3 items. I mean, mitts is significant because it locks out both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock right now. It also would be our access to Desert Palace at this point in time. Flute is our access to Misery Mire. We don't know what medallion is necessary to get into Turtle Rock and Misery Mire, so we may have to do some hunting there. It's worth discussing, but we're at a pretty good pacing right now of picking up our items.
All right, so now we have the blind fight here. Already into phase 3, it looks like. And very nicely done.
Yep,
Look,
pretty clean fight.
someone is asking what can be on PED.
Well,
Flute?
can't beat mitts. Yeah,
Flute?
flute, and whatever medallion is used to open Misery Mire or Turtle Rock. If it's Quake, I believe. Yeah, if Quake is possible. I believe Cane is also possible because both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are crystals.
Yeah, Kane can also be on pedestal.
Still, we're looking at a pretty low percentage at this point in time for pedestal. It's absolutely a possibility. Don't want to get ahead of myself there, but with all the dungeons that we just had open to us, with getting the mirror and the bow, it might be a while before that even begins to creep into the runner's minds. You really don't start thinking about, as a runner, you don't start thinking about PED possibilities until you start running out of locations to check.
Yeah, and while we've been talking, Naki has picked up their mirror. Someone in chat is asking if Ice Piles can require the Cane of Samaria. Yes, it can. If Colster is specifically holding one of the small keys.
The logic for Ice Palace is mind-boggling. If Cold Stare holds one of the small keys, then absolutely you can have a requirement for Cane. If the key placement is in such a way, and I'm not entirely sure what the triggers are, then Hookshot could be required. But again, it could also not be. It's just convoluted, I think, is the best way to say it.
I think Hookshot is required regardless of the logic for Ice Palace because they don't expect you to bomb jump at all.
I'm trying to like the number of chests. Like to beat Cold Stare, yes, it would be required in the logic, but you can get so far in it without it, depending on the logic there.
All right, so it looks like we're gonna have Nake heading over to the Dark Palace area.
I do like the Palace of Darkness play. You now have everything you could possibly do to get it. Bow, hammer, lamp. You should be able to make pretty quick work of it. Plus, it's a crystal, and it's a pretty dense location or dungeon as well. Several treasures in there. Absolutely a pretty solid play. Plus, as we're seeing, this is going to be Nakanashi's first trip over in this direction, so getting the back of Sahasrara as well while you're there.
Not to mention, they can also mirror and do Eastern as well, so very nice clean routing here from Nake. And in the meantime that we've been talking, we have seen Punchy defeat Blind.
Well, and I don't know if they're going to want to go into Eastern Palace again. Again, it's a pendant. So it's possible that you go in and do a quick check there, but you're hoping that it's not required.
I mean, it's been a very common case in the version 29 in which pendant dungeons have had progression. I mean, I was doing a seed earlier today in which Swamp had progression, but neither runner chose to do it because the sequence broke. And we pretty much knew it because of process of elimination and by the end of it.
All right. So far, nothing exciting here in Palace of Darkness.
Very nicely done with the Mimic Room there. Now we're going to see what is on this Bowlock side of Pod. Small key. And another small key.
Man, that's some exciting small keys there.
Yeah, and in the meantime, though, Graveyard Lich having a green potion, so nice to have. Not necessary, but nice to have.
And I get the feeling, if I'm counting keys right, there's almost got to be something in this big key treasure chest. Or vanilla big key treasure chest that it looks like they're on their way over to.
Ho 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 ho! Hello there, Canis Amaria. How's it going?
My goodness. My goodness. I mean, that's absolutely one of the items that could troll us for a while. That's nice to see. But my call so far is absolutely proving to be correct at the beginning of the race. What's trolling us? The mitts.
Not so much the mitts as the flute, but yeah, you're absolutely right. They gotta be here somewhere. Alright, nothing in the rupee basement of Palace Dart is worth noting. And nothing too useful in the Harmless Hellway either. Nake now heading towards the Dark Maze. And Punchy is right on Nake's heels going into Pod.
Yeah, you can imagine that Punchy is going to be happy with at least one of the items here. Again, having to full clear Palace of Darkness, it's going to take a little bit of time to get through everything, but absolutely worth it just for that cane by itself.
And Big Chest is not exactly that great either. Oy. So now it looks like Nake is on their way fighting Helliser King.
So what item right now is the one thing that you think these runners do not want to find?
For them, I don't think either runner wants to see actually, I can't think of anything they actually don't want to see at all.
Well, and I asked that thinking certain things, and then I realized, oh wait, Ice Palace is also a pendant. I was thinking book because then that would unlock. Desert, but they want desert access right now. They're just looking for other ways into desert. So yeah, you're right. That is not a great question for me to ask at this point in time.
Actually, now that you mentioned the book, it just put that thought on my mind is, oh great, let's get this over with. Let's see what's on pedestal, and then they find out it's a flute. So yeah, books just for the sake of that, they don't have to worry about pedestal. And here we go with the Helmazor King fight for Nake. Doing some pretty good work thus far. Getting a little knocked around. And a textbook takedown with that tempered sword.
Absolutely rewarded with the crystal. Next stop. Let's discuss next stop because I guess there's really one primary place that you can really go at this point in time, isn't there? Or two. I mean, there's two.
Yeah, but which one do you really want to do? Because the one that comes to my head is Swamp. Because, well, I think I'm in the minority here. I actually am not that disgusted by Swamp.
See, I'm not either, and I think, this might be why I'm 1-3, why I'm not winning in the tournament at all. I think I would probably check Swamp before even doing Eastern. I know it's right here, and I know it could be a quick check, but if you can complete a crystal dungeon, do a crystal dungeon.
Yeah. It's mainly the fact that people just want to hold off on doing Swamp until they're in go mode. Because that saves so much time from going to the left side instead of going straight back. And there's the fire shield for Nake. My personal favorite shield. And unfortunately, I just missed what Nake found.
Well, I will check shortly. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. It would have been the big key. Gets the final item, a 5 rupee from the big chest. And yeah, Eastern Palace was a waste of time.
Oh, it was a fast enough check. And if there's any one dungeon that most runners would be okay double dipping, it's Eastern. So completely understandable in that regard. It's usually one of the first dungeons I check because you can do it without a weapon.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit dangerous at that point in time, but because it's one of those Sphere 1 locations, it's absolutely the most likely, I think, to require a double dip of some capacity.
Yeah, I have to agree with Zelda's in chat here. Pedestal is more than likely on life support.
The possibility is still there, but if it's not Flute, it's close.
I mean, it cannot be Titan's Myth. The only item it can be is the book, which should be kind of funny, the flute, or Quake. And we're not finding too much in the way of progression here. What we have found, though, is a crystal from Helvesurf for Punchy.
The problem, if it were the book, is that we do have a second way into Desert Palace that's not on the pedestal. So unless, if it were to the book and it would still be required, then it would require that not only is the book on the pedestal, but it would require... Yeah, I don't know if the book actually can be on the pedestal then.
Book can be on pedestal because at the result, one of the tablets could have the flute. Or the flute could be in desert.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing that. I was trying to think with Mitt's logic as well. But, yep.
Out of all the items that we need for go mode, Mitts cannot be one of them. Technically, silvers could be on pedestal as well. That is something that the logic accounts for, is you having silvers. And that's simply because Silverless is technically a glitch, and this is no glitches logic. So bare minimum, Master and Silvers for fighting Ganon.
And it does look like both of our runners are heading down to do Swamp Palace. It's that crystal. Makes sense.
Yeah, and they won't be able to get to Pyramid Fairy just yet because Pyramid Fairy is locked behind Desert Palace. But one of these items could absolutely be what we're missing.
Yeah, Swamp is a pretty stacked dungeon. I think 5 total or 6. I always get it mixed up. Yeah, 6.
Total items in this pool. And first item is not that great, as we found from Punchy's side. Grabbing that small key. Now, what I really like here is how they've worked out the off-locks here in Swamp in this logic. Now, if you accidentally float the key, you just have to leave the dungeon exit entrance and then just walk right back in the door. And the water will reset. And the room that Punchy is going through right now, that room will always stay flooded from now on.
That's nice.
And it's simply because it's impossible to flood the key in that room.
It's all about the possibility of how much you can flood and how much you don't. Oh. Oh my.
What is it? I must have missed something.
Yeah, PuchieDarcy ended up finding the flute.
And wow, that's pretty good. And so did Nake. So okay, yeah. Pending medallion. Pet is dead.
Yeah, pending medallion, Pet is dead. So we are only a Titan's Mitt away from go mode then. Plus pending medallion, yeah.
In order for it to be potentially pedestal, it has to be Quake, Omped, and one of the two remaining pendant and one of the two medallion dungeons has to be locked by Quake. So Pet is pretty much considered dead. I believe term to best describe it is that it's on life support at this point.
It's not all dead. If it was all dead, there's only one thing you could do.
And there... Wait, hold on. Almost slipped there. Yeah, there's the Titan's Mitts.
Welp. So Schrodinger's go mode, all depending on what we have for those medallion requirements. So we're only missing Quake, and we have both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock to do. If you're these runners, I think first thing you do is, you go ahead and clear out the rest of the treasures through here, if you absolutely can. And then, do you gamble skipping everything that you can in Misery Mire? Or do you pick stuff up just in case Quake is required on Turtle Rock?
I would absolutely go to Desert. And do Mire if I can. And then I would do a quick pyramid fairy check just in case, because I don't want to double climb the mountain for Quake. And I would look through the entirety of Death Mountain for that medallion. Or Dark Death Mountain, rather.
Man, that would be a gamble, in particular with how close that these two are in right now, in the same dungeon, just a couple rooms apart.
So yeah, we just need to figure out where this Quake medallion is, if it's even required. And the risk may or may not be worth the reward depending on how cautious the runners are.
Yeah, I mean, the other possibility is that while you're checking everything, you end up picking up the silvers. Those are still at large as well. And if you spend an extra minute or two checking some treasure chests and you end up finding the silvers, well, you'll get that time back.
Yeah, silvers with the tempered sword is not as much of a time save as compared to doing master swords with silvers. But yeah, overall, just a great item to have. And yeah, there we go. We have Argus down for Punchy. Or PuchieDarcy. I'm going to have some hard time pronouncing that name now that I think about it.
I'm just going with Darcy.
Yeah, probably should do that myself.
Yeah, so with the kill, we're going to see, what gambles do these two runners take? Do you full go mode everything, hoping that you can go ahead and finish things out? Obviously, the first thing you do is go ahead and activate your flute. But do you go mode everything, hoping that you have it, or do you play it safer and clear everything else out?
Did Pucci or Darcy check King's Tomb?
No, maybe when I'm not sure.
Well then, well, all rise to the swag gigantism, I guess.
Hashtag Neil.
And we are seeing a flute to 2. And I like what I'm seeing here. Pucci is dumping all of their unnecessary bottles to get blue potions, it looks like.
I like it. Absolutely. If you're getting ready to go into some of these tougher dungeons, and let's face it, you're still rocking the green mail, you want as much safety as you can get. They're at, go-ish mode at an hour 9. Green mail, only 12 hearts when you're going to some of these tough dungeons.
Oh boy, folks. It's not over yet. Quake is required for Misery Mire.
Oh, baby.
And there are our silver arrows as well.
Well, things just got a lot more interesting, didn't they?
Yes, it did. Where is that Quake medallion? That is the question now. Oh, hello.
That's
I will wait a little bit for you guys to see what I was reacting to.
yeah, that's rude. So yeah, book on Desert Ledge is about as rude as you can possibly get. That being said, if you check it early enough, you know that your access to desert is going to have to come elsewhere.
Yeah, and our first item hasn't found here. It's only 20 rupees here in desert. And we also saw the big key on the torch, which means this dungeon was in fact boots locked. So yet another reason why we needed to find the boots this seed. That's 3. This seed was super locked behind boots.
I mean, that's just rude, isn't it? With everything else that this seed has had that's locked behind boots, it would not surprise me one iota if the Ganon's Tower big key was on the torch.
That would be kind of impressive, yeah.
Okay, so what next? After Desert Palace, do you go up Death Mountain? I mean, that's Dark Death Mountain has a nice little trove of items.
I would not actually, because desert is actually very important to us.
That's right.
It is our other 5-6. So if I was going to check any location before I go up the mountain, it would be Pyramid Ferry. And now that we have the talismans, the Smith Loop is also an option. And with the book, we can also use that to check Bombo's tablet as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of those etc. overworld locations that we could check after Desert. It's just a matter of who makes the play. And at this point, these two runners are so close that it's first one to Quake wins.
I would say so, and well, we know it's not on Lamol, as they have the red boomerang. But again, they had the 5-6 crystal that we were missing, so now Pyramid Fairy is an option. Ooh, a Mirror Bonk from Darcy. And something that just crossed my mind, we don't actually have both items out of Skull Woods yet, do we?
No, we don't. That's even more difficult. We only have one item out of Skull Woods, plus that bonus green pendant, which gives us another item at Sahasrara. Oh, man. This is... I mean, we are very, very early looking for just one thing.
So now the question is, who will make the right check first?
And it could be anywhere. Like, any of these locations could be absolutely right. You know, Hammer Pegs, Jeremiah, Purple Chest, any of the tablets, Dark Death Mountain. It could be in Turtle Rock. It could be in Ice Palace. It could be the Pyramid Fairy. It could be in Skull Woods. It could be on Sahasrara. There's a lot of different places, and they are literally spread out all over the world. They could be, I mean, it's a coin flip at this point in time. Get your random number generators out, just like let it pick for you.
And unfortunately, Darcy getting dead rocked. And choosing to go for the Dark Death Mountain play. Not going to check the rest of the overworld.
That's gutsy. It's a play I like, actually. And honestly, I think I would make this similar play Not only because you have 6 item locations up on Dark Death Mountain, 7 if you count Spike Cave, which we have not done yet, I don't believe, but we also have the possibility of being able to go ahead and dive Turtle Rock with its plethora of locations.
But what if Turtle Rock is also Quake?
Oh, well, then, you know, GG. It's still 6 item locations up here, regardless. I mean, it's a pretty dense location check anyway. You have to spend a little bit of time getting up to it. And if you can't get into Turtle Rock, you can go ahead and do another dungeon while you're up here.
Well, while Darcy is checking Dark Death Mountain, we see the big bomb from Nake. Gonna have an easy time taking it back because of the Agus kill. Unfortunately, Dark Death Mountain not paying out. Unfortunately, folks, it is indeed Quake for Turtle Rock as well. Oh no!
Oh my goodness.
Okay. It looks like, yeah, Darcy's going to check Ether. And then maybe go into Spike Cave. Make the trip on the mountain at least somewhat valuable. And finds the blue whale, so
Yeah, it's not a bad check. Good item at that point in time. I mean, can you imagine doing all of these dungeons with green mail? It's just not a whole lot of fun.
and we are seeing King's Tomb on Nake's side. But unfortunately, it is not Quake. It is just a piece of heart. And Spike Cave now for Darcy. Is this Quake? It is not. No, it is only 3 bombs. So, I think... Go ahead.
What I was going to say, I'm actually going to shout out, I need to credit this to Recitador, who's in chat right now, pointing out that both of the dungeons being Quake, and that's their go mode item at this point in time, actually really helps them. It limits the number of areas that they can do. Can you imagine having to dive all the way down into Turtle Rock for that to have to come back up? Now they'll be able to go ahead and go mode Turtle Rock as well, and Misery Mire, so 2 go mode dungeons as opposed to just 1. Really kind of nice they went ahead and do it. To your point, I think you were getting ready to go. It's time to start making some gambles into some pendant dungeons here.
Yeah, there is dependent dungeons we have yet to find items in. There is the Smith Loop in its entirety. And there's also Pedestal Looming.
Yeah, and I think in that order, I think you start with the Smith Loop. Go ahead and do that because that's relatively quick. You have everything to make it very, very fast. Jeremiah, boom. Hammer pegs, boom. Purple chest, flute away. Check Bombo's tablet while you're over there. Great.
I see something a little bit different.
Okay.
I see check Skullwoods first, then do Smith Loop because you're going to be in that area anyway. And then when you're done, you route over and do the Ice Palace play.
See, and my thinking is if it's not in that overworld, then go check Ice Palace, and if it's not there, then you do Skull Woods because you're right there to be able to pull the pedestal if it's not in any of those other locations. I mean, I think there's valid points to both of them.
Yeah, my play was to check ped first. Your play was to blindfold the pedestal, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Both have merit in their own rights. But it looks like we are not going to wait.
Oh, he's going to go ahead and check it. Okay, this probably makes the most sense. Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, we finally found one. It is Aga required and pet required. Quake is at the pedestal.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is a horrible seed to have to delay my reactions to because I want to scream out every time something happens.
Yeah, it is not easy delaying your commentary, just as a heads up. I'm not even joking, I am actually using a metronome to time it out.
So, this is a seed. This is something that these two runners are going to talk about for a long time. It's like, man, remember that one seed I got that was both PED and AGA required? My god.
Yeah. At the very least, though, Darcy now knows that they are in go mode. They have to get all the pendants, but they are now in go mode.
And this is kind of the right time to be checking the pedestal too. It's when you start running out of item locations, easy checks. And it does look like Naki is going up there.
Yeah, looks like they will know this is pedestal and will be in turn in go mode themselves. We might see a little bit of rage.
There might be some wondering, it's like, what does that mean? Maxing out the Richter scale, because that's not.
Yep. There was some rage bombing the pedestal.
That's rude.
I've seen it happen before. It's kind of funny when it happens. Just the pause as well, right at the start of like, you have got to be kidding me. That was probably going through Naki's head right then and there when they had that long pause when they read the pedestal message.
Yeah, but to your point, they know where it is. They can now go mode everything. And being able to go mode Ice Palace instead of going in there and clearing it out, absolutely the preferred play. Because so I would have lost, which isn't a surprise to anyone.
Yeah, I'm one of those that expects the worst out of the seed and tries to do their best to play around it. It makes me consistent as a runner, but I'm also slow. I have not tasted a sub 2 in quite some time.
So can you imagine what's going through these runners' minds? They were sitting at a possible go mode at like an hour 4, and then nope.
Yeah, the dread just settled in there. And we're seeing two different strategies here. We're seeing Darcy checking and getting all the other pendants and saving Skullwoods for last, which makes perfect sense because then you can mirror and grab Quake and be on your way. Nake is instead opting to do Skullwoods first and get out of the way while they are in the area. And again, it's one of those plays that both have merit.
So now, since they're both in go mode effectively at this point in time, and they both know it, it's just kind of an execution race at this point in time. Who makes the fewest mistakes?
Yes, and I believe this was a 1 and 2 matchup.
Yep. So whoever makes the fewest mistakes at this point in time,
Essentially,
yeah,
keeps their bracket dream alive just a little bit longer. But hopefully the loser of this race will just stick around and have some fun. Maybe get some more practice in as a result. It never hurts to have that, really. All right, so now we are seeing Nake heading over to Eastern Palace, getting this one done next. And successful bomb jump has been done by Darcy. Moving onward to fight Cold Stare here in just a little bit.
I think at this time it's fair to say that Darcy has a bit of an edge at this point in time. Just has to finish up Ice Palace and then very quick Skull Woods. So we'll probably be able to do Misery Mire and Turtle Rock a little bit faster, or at least get through it and be to Ganon's Tower a little bit before Nakanashi at this point, unless something dramatic happens.
What could happen that would be dramatic at this point? The only thing I can think of is dying in the final hallway before Aga 2. Just having that significant time loss.
I mean, it's Rando. Anything can happen in Rando.
And as it turns out, there was a small key on Cold Stare, so by the logic, Samaria was required for Ice Palace as well. And that's again because of the key logic here. You can't solve the puzzle normally without that key. Or the main puzzle, I should say, of Ice Palace.
And with Cold Stare down, looks like Darcy will be on his way over to the Sculpt Woods area for the last pendant and to go ahead and pull it while there.
And that's right. And I doubt either one of these runs is going to soft out GT. They'll have everything they need. So yeah, we got I think we have a little bit of downtime here before we get back on track and getting some actual progress. So while we're waiting here for them to finish up these last two dungeons, make sure to give these two runners a follow. They're going through one heck of a scene, and they really deserve some support after this, I think.
Absolutely. This is one of those seeds that I think everyone in chat is absolutely happy to see. because it means it's been removed from the pool from what they could possibly see. Uh,
Well, Chad also likes to see people suffer, apparently, so they want to see more of these seats. All right, here is the moth fight for Darcy. Kind of being a pest, staying in that corner. But gets him down right quick. And gets the final pendant.
Yep. GG PuchieDarcy.
And now we see the quick mirror, and we're going to see him pull out the book.
Oh, it looks like Nakanashi is having a little bit of trouble with this bomb jump here.
Yeah, Surno is not one of the easiest ones to do the bomb jump with, unfortunately. The shadow is kind of difficult to gauge. If you need an actual pixel to gauge the bomb jump for Surno, I believe it's her feet are akin to, or the Link's feet, which you can use as a visual aid, are akin to the low point of her dress. Just that little drop at the bottom part of the sprite.
See, and in this case, I would just use the sword pixel. Having one pixel between the bomb shadow and the extended sword.
Well, it's setting up the your position next to the hole.
Oh, okay, that one. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people end up using various sprites. You gotta really practice on them, and changing your sprite can really throw you sideways.
Yeah, something else or just having just like a reference point to your preferred sprite is something that you should go with.
So the problem that Nakanashi is running into is not being able to do that bomb jump. That makes this dungeon a whole lot longer.
Yeah. Thankfully, just has to find their way down. And also, we have a Godmire in set up here. Big key early on.
Yeah, that's really nice here for both of our runners once they get there.
I think the worst thing that could happen to Nake at this point is a death to Cold Stare. Because on top of everything this seed has thrown at them, that would potentially be like over the tilt limit for him. So yeah. Here we go with the Vitreous fight for Darcy. Blink and you'll miss it. No pun intended.
He can't blink. There are no eyelids.
I was referring to the viewers, but I turned away and wow, he's gone already. Yeah, those silver arrows do quite a number on Vitreous. There's a reason why they locked them. When in the vanilla game, he is guarding one of the crystals that triggers the big bomb.
Absolutely. They just do so much damage to so many things. Ganon has the most health, and even then, 4 silver arrows does it. My goodness. So we see Darcy on his way up to Turtle Rock now. Turtle Rock, one of those dungeons that is a little bit difficult to go mode, just because depending on key logic, you might still have to go into the laser bridge. But still going to be a relatively quick through here for Turtle Rock. And then we're on to Ganon's Tower.
That's right. And we got a little bit of a thing we like to do, but let's save that for when we get closer to that moment, shall we?
Absolutely.
And it just really feels good to have Turtle Rock be your last dungeon too, because you just have to walk over to GT and you're good to go.
Yeah, that doesn't leave a lot of time for extra activities, as they are wont to have happen periodically. But that's perfectly okay.
Yeah, perfectly okay indeed.
Meanwhile, Nakanashi ends up, it's like finishing off Cold Stare, 3rd pendant, now to pull the pedestal for that Quake medallion. So it's about a dungeon and a half lead for Darcy.
I'd say maybe more akin to 5 minutes. Because we know that the mire is going to be a really fast mire. So it doesn't really count as a dungeon, more so as a pit stop.
That's fair. Oh, look at that. Nakanashi giving us some extra explosives.
Yeah. It's not liking the fact that this was a pedestal seed. I honestly don't blame them. This seed is rude.
I mean, pedestal required, Aga required.
The 2 medallions they got not required. Had to be the 3rd one.
And the fact they threw so much at us early, like, that's probably the oddest thing about this seed. It's like, okay, bow on the lumberjack ledge. Okay, we're gonna have to do Aga. And then the mirror on the library ledge. And then it just threw so much at us in Kakariko, and it just seemed to just flow really well. We were talking go mode at an hour 8, and then the wheels came off.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like Darcy. Okay. Okay, Darcy did in fact pick up the big key, so they can risk skipping the big key chest here, which will save them a little bit of time.
Unless it isn't. At which point, I mean, if it is the key that they require, then that could hurt them.
Well, they're gonna just get the key from this pokey and just walk away.
Oh, and just steal it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's don't even need to open up that door at this point. And at this point, you absolutely do not check Mimic Cave.
No, absolutely not. You're probably maybe a little bit worried about how your opponent's doing at this point in time. Although, I don't know. Do you think Darcy's feeling pretty confident and Aga and Pedestal required seed and he's in Turtle Rock go moding at 142? Do you think he's actually feeling pretty good about this right now?
They probably feel behind, actually. Because with all of what's been going on, also Laser Bridge not required because of that key skip. Very nice.
Yeah.
But with all that has been going on, with the pedestal, all the Aga play, you have to wonder, how soon did my opponent do this? And if you think they did it sooner than you did, that means they could have been in go mode a lot sooner than you did. But in this case, in reality, it's not. They actually did more or less at the same time. But because this is randomizer, you don't know where your opponent is. I guess one can describe it as a little bit of a mind game.
Oh, I think that's absolutely fair. And it can really play on you and wear on you late in the seed. It's wondering where your opponent is. Did they make a good play over you? You don't see that completion quite yet.
All right, folks. So we're not going to have much time for this game, so we're going to get it started right now. And yeah, there is a game. Did you know about it?
I did know about it. Would you like to tell them the rules, or do you want me to tell them the rules?
All right, so we don't have the bot here, so this is just purely for fun, first and foremost. But we have this little guessing game we play involving where the Get in its Tower big key is. There's 22 item locations available, and the order will be determined on which chest the runner opens. So give us a number, and we'll find out here in just a little bit. As Trinex is down. So yeah, get your guesses in fast. Because GT is literally only a minute and a half away at most.
So, Wolf, what's going to be your guess then?
This scene has been so rude to them, but I want the ultimate boots lock situation. I want him to be on the torch.
I think that's fair. I think I'm kind of hoping for that myself. That being said, I have promised myself I am not guessing number 8 until I actually get number 8. Since the last time I didn't choose number 8, it was number 8. So.
All right, starting with the right side here, looks like. Getting a small key. And bomb booster. Going left. Now we will see the torch. Rip the super boots required dream. It is a small key, unfortunately. But that is still item 3, and taking the key, rip Bob.
Poor Bob. He didn't deserve to go out like that, but I don't think you should expect anything else in a seed like this.
Chest 4. 20 rubies. Chest 5. Small key. Chest 6. Arrow booster. And chest 7. 5 bomb capacity upgrade.
All right, here comes my guess. Double fire bar room.
Unfortunately for you, it is just the map.
That stinks.
I haven't seen a bomb used for that room in a while. Most people use the Cane of Samaria. Chest number 9. Red potion. Very nice to have, actually. Be a nice little touch-up heal if they need it on their ascent up the tower. And now we're coming up to what is known as the Rando Room. $10. Hero booster, 11. Money, 12. Lots of money. 13. Just a touch of money. 1 single rupee.
I mean, can we call that the Jerry Maguire room now?
Well, in the vanilla game, actually, that all that's there is just some resources, some bombs and arrows, so... yeah, really not useful at all.
All right, so nothing in Bob's chest, so soon we will be starting our Ice Armos fight.
And Ice Armos is down.
I mean, yeah, that's nice and fast.
Yeah, another blink and you'll miss it because of the silver arrows. And unfortunately, Ice Armos only having 3 heart pieces behind him.
So it's somewhere on the right side. Oh, is he? Oh, no, he's not. He's avoiding that side. That big treasure. Oh, he can't pull the big treasure chest. Duh.
Are we really that far behind? Jeez. Yeah, once again, folks, we are doing our best to work with the delay here. Using a rather abnormal setup this time around.
We're making it work. We're doing our best for you guys. It's okay.
Yeah, we do apologize if we are ahead or behind.
Oh, that looks horrible for Darcy.
Ouch, yeah. Getting caught by the Wallmaster. Back to start.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I mean, he collected 300 rupees a couple times here, but, you know.
And Zelda's telling me not to keep talking about it. I'm just mentioning it for those just tuning in. Really.
So with that Wallmaster grab, Darcy's got to be feeling even further behind now. These Gibdos are just bodying him right and left.
Yeah, manages to get through. Chest number 19.
Yeah, the Wallmaster was not trying to tell him to go back and do tile room, although it could have been and been a gigantic troll. So now we're in a really kind of an interesting part of this race. We see Nakanashi cleaning up Trinex right now. If Nakanashi does a full right side gamble, that will be a significant amount of time saved and could catch up to Darcy.
Here we go. We are beginning our ascent now with the gauntlet. Darcy needs to be a little bit careful there.
Absolutely. We do know that Darcy got rid of all the fairy safeties in lieu of blue potions. Can't take too much more damage, though.
Yeah, Darcy needs to be a little bit careful. Does have the powder, as we know, and does also have a red. Not sure if he junked that already.
Rainbow's being a little bit rude here.
Yeah, particularly rude. But gets him down.
And I believe, yes, it does look like Nakanashi did the full right side gamble and is now on the way up. Man, that's a lot of time saved for Nakanashi there.
Yeah, but now the question is, can Execution carry Nake to the finish line ahead of Darcy? Have to wait and see.
I mean, I think at this point in time, it is still Darcy's game to lose, but his margin of error just got a lot thinner.
All right, gets through to the counselor room. Should now be a relatively straightforward thing.
Ooh, that's one way of doing it. Moldorm getting one victim.
Yeah, but oh, Molder. Okay.
All right, so Darcy getting ready for and preparing for his Aga 2 fight. We'll see how cooperative Aghanim is.
Yeah, so far not very. Yeah, just getting some rather rude patterns.
The nice thing is that the patterns will be the same for both the runners. So even if one pattern is rude, the other runner isn't going to get RNG luck and get a better pattern.
That last pattern, though, is pretty good, and now with Aga 2 down, it is time to fight the big.
That smells me some blue bacon. Here we go into the Ganon fight. We'll see what strats. Remember, Darcy does have 2 blue potions still to work with.
Very nicely done already into phase 2. Using the cape. And that looked like a 1 cycle there, so already on to phase 3.
Meanwhile, Nakanashi also takes a fall to Moldorm, so no time saved there for Nakanashi.
Oh,
And that was close.
Almost falling to Ganon. Twice. Ah! Give me a little bit of a heart attack there. All right, there we go. Ganon down. GG's to Darcy. Who finishes with an official SRTV time of 2 hours and 6 seconds.
Yeah, GG to PuchieDarcy. We'll see if we can't get him in here for a quick interview, and it'll be nice to not have to delay anything of what's going on.
And in the meantime here, we have got Nake into phase 3 here. About to start phase 4. Gets the torch glitch, so we'll be having an easier time here. And GG's to Nake, finishing with an official SRT time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, 17 seconds.
In the meantime, we have PuchieDarcy. We've just been calling you Darcy the whole time.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yes, GG to you and to your opponent. This was a nightmare of a seed to watch. Agger required. Ped required because the one bit down you needed was there.
It didn't feel like a nightmare to play. It actually felt really fun, to be honest, because you kind of knew where things were. Like when you knew the bow. Oh, GG! I just saw you enter.
Oh yeah, GG.
Yeah, we were just saying that this was an ag up seed and a ped seed.
It was something else. Yeah.
I never really felt lost though until Quake. Like, sure, Quake, and then I didn't know where to go, but I'm just glad I looked at the ped.
As soon as I found book and I cleared desert, I was like, I need to look at ped right now. And I'm glad I did because no, and that was the problem. Right. Like I had gone into both Skull and Eastern before that, and I was like, nah, I don't need to finish these. And I was like, no, actually, I really should have done that. That would have saved me a lot of time. And then I just wasted a ton of time and iced myself, which was, I don't want to think about what I did there. That was really stupid. But yeah. But GG, that was a fun seed.
It was actually a fun seed to play. I can understand the viewers maybe thinking like, oh, Ped and Aga, but it always had a little bit of direction to it until the end.
Well, I will say this much. I'm glad that you guys had to run this seed because I would have probably freaked out a little bit. And the number of rage slashes and rage bombs I would have dropped compared to you, Nakanashi, especially on that ped, yeah, it would have been a 4th of July show.
I forgot I couldn't drop 3 bombs, so I missed the triangle, but, you know.
So walk me through here. You know, this seed, it did kind of lead you along. Like you knew that the bow was going to be on Aghanim, was going to be Aga required really early on. You got the boots, you know, relatively early. You know, what's going through your mind as you're like slowly progressing this seed? At any point in time, I mean, it felt like, you know, we were looking at go mode at like an hour 8 into it, and it's looking like a free seed, and then the wavy coin hits you.
Yeah, because that was the thing. It's like we saw, I don't know when Pucci checked Lumberjack, but when I saw Bow right away, I was like, all right, well, I got to prepare for that. And then with Mirror on the library as well, I was like, well, at least I'm getting boots this seed, like for sure, early.
Yeah, I checked Lumberjack first thing in the opening route, and then when I saw Mirror, I was like, I'm not going to Ag until I get boots, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't remember if I went before or after I got boots. I don't know. I thought my middle there was routed kind of weird, even though I knew where I wanted to go. There were like so many places and no good way to do all of them. Because I wanted to get just the way I wanted to get stuff, I couldn't because of that mirror.
I think it just came down to me just doing full dungeons and not full crystals. Just as soon as pod came open, do all of pod, do all of swamp.
I did that too.
Didn't want to dip into anything unnecessarily quite yet, because like in my head, I felt like I was 1 or 2 items, and I saw Mitt in Swamp, and I was like, cool, go mode. Because, I mean, the medallions, I had a 2/3 chance. I was certain.
I thought the same thing. And I don't know what you did. I went to Meyer first, saw it was Quake. I was like, well, I guess I should finally go to Dark Death Mountain. So I went up there, and then I saw T-Rock was Quake, and I was like, oh no.
It sounds like we did the exact same thing. You just want to go into a dungeon, and you can't.
Yeah.
No, and you guys really did kind of, despite this seed's twists and turns, there were a few different route divergence. I think, for example, Nakanashi, I think you did Aga a little bit earlier, whereas Darcy, I think you held off until you had boots. Either that or I'm flipping that around. But one person held off a little bit.
Yeah, when I got boots and Skull, I pieced. I wanted to do Aga then.
Yeah, and that's really the only difference that happened here. I mean, you guys, you kind of went in a lot of different separate directions. I think Darcy, you ended up having the slightly superior routing once you realized it was the pedestal. Like you did all the others, and then you did Skullwoods last, so you could just like, hey, I'm right here. Pull it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I was doing Skullwoods first, I walked in there, I was like, why am I doing this right now? I really should have gone to these other places. And so then I was kind of irritated, and I think that's why I messed up my my Ice Palace so bad, because I was like, I'm doing this poorly.
Oh no, it didn't feel mean. Felt fine.
Yeah. So, Darcy, you will be staying alive in this tournament, I believe. I've got this right, or are you at 3?
That's 2-2, I think.
Yeah. So, at least, are either of you still enjoying your time here? Are you gonna keep going and practice at the very least?
Absolutely. I mean, I got a couple of friends who are in the tournament, and we just play like, whoops, hold on. I've got echo on my side. Sorry. We play pretty much once every 2 or 3 days. So I mean, I am addicted. What can I say?
Yeah, this is actually a really good thing to practice on. And I also encourage anyone watching as well to just enjoy the randomizer for it first. And once you get a feel for it, go ahead and try to at least do a tournament. Maybe you'll get some more experience. See what you can do to improve. There's always a good time here with this thing.
Well, I wouldn't say always a good time, because sometimes.
Okay, fair enough.
Sometimes.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's some bad seats like this one. Or bad-ish.
Bad-ish, yeah. All right, well, GG to both of our runners, PuchieDarcy and Nakanashi. I swear I'm going to mispronounce your name like 8 more times, even though we're almost done. Still lots of randomizer going on tonight. What's going on right now over on ALTTP Randomizer 1, Seabass 601 versus Artemis SZ. Also just started a little bit ago, S Diesel versus Uvaling over on Speed Gaming 5. So still randomizer starting at midnight tonight, looks like, on Speed Gaming, the original. This is going to be a hyped match. Who 42 Baker versus Cursed Ether. That one looks really, really solid. And I think we might have another race at midnight going on. Undecided as of yet. So if you can believe it, there's still randomizer going on even at this late hour.
Yes. And make sure to give our tracker here a follow, Alpha Channel. They did a pretty good job, I would say. And I would like to give it a special shout out to Zelda for getting this thing working for us so that we can give you guys a great commentary restream, or at least the best we could do. And I also give a follow to my co-Competasia. They did an awesome job here as well.
Oh, I don't know about awesome, but Wolflink, you as well, sir. That is going to be something that I never forget, ever.
Nor I. But that's going to do it from us here at Link to the Past Randomizer 3, and as well for this community. So from all of us here at the Link to the Past Randomizer Spring Standard Tournament, we shall see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Good night, everybody.